our next speaker and the last speaker of today, Bernhard Schneider. He is currently holding a postdoc position in the project MiMare, Mesopotamian Material Religion at Warsaw. From 2024 onwards, he will be the PI of the project RuBab, Rural Southern Babylonian Sites During the Age of Empire, about 720 to 150 BC at the University of Wrocław. This summer, his first monograph will appear concerning the ziggurat of Nippur at Saffron. Please let me welcome Mr. Bernhard Schneider.
Dear colleagues, I have the pleasure and honor to take now a closer look at the Nippur region with you. The Nippur region, from the heartland of the cities to a rural imperial landscape, is the guiding question, developed from the title of Adams' survey, in the heartland of the cities, which is also the study region. Nippur was, the construction work at Nippur starts in Neo-Assyrian times with Ashur-Haddon. Later it was an Assyrian domain directly under the control of Ashurbanipal after the revolt of Shamash-Shumukin, 648 BC. And even later, during Achaemenid times, in the Murašû archive evidence, 450 to 400 BC, it was again kind of a royal domain with the princes and kings' wives of the Persian king in the surroundings of Nippur. And interesting, while Oppenheim went down the Euphrates, he described this region, so the Nippur region, as the region, the domain of the Sultan. So something which I need to look at closer in later studies. Such a continuity, probably. So we will focus on the region which I study in my forthcoming project, RuBab, to the southeast of Nippur, about 25 kilometers to 50 kilometers to the southeast of Nippur, in Adams' heartland of the cities. Here is assembled the accumulated evidence of surveys until the 1980s by Kerry Reed. And here, the quantitative analysis of Altaville's Criteri, which is a wonderful study of 2018, not yet including the more modern research, but it wonderfully assembles all the evidence, and it produced quite a stable picture from Old Babylonian on, quite a decline, but it goes stable until the end of the Parthian period, with a steep rise in the Sasanian period, an overall picture which will follow us. We have to consider also regional variation, as for example in the Quiche survey by Gibson to the northwest of our study region here, where there are major differences in 4 different zones. We have a big sharp drop in Neo-Babylonian times in the Quiche area of waterways, and quite a stable situation in the Babil Kufa area, and a rise, as is the common trend in the other regions, in the Quiche Chemred Nasser, not to mix with the southern Chemred Nasser. Here is the assembled textual evidence by Zadok, which is more or less nowadays the same picture we have, because not many new sources could contribute to additional evidence here. So what I say is further geomorphological research, like a borehole sequence, is needed to reach a more firm datation to finally take care about that also from the archaeological side. Take a short look at Nippur development in the Assyrian domination, extension maximum, like in Ur-3 times, and also in Khazar times before. Later Neo-Babylonian and Achaemenid times, it is reduced on the main mount, with an extension again in Seleucid Parthian, with Parthians even building on the northeastern wall, on the earlier northeastern wall. and probably removing the Neo-Assyrian evidence there. And later even, Sasanian times, even a rise and extension in smaller sites in the surrounding of Nippur, which would be interesting to look at them in period-wise, also maybe to excavate one of them, if they were not maybe also founded already in Achaemenid times, at least some of them, because a similar picture is in maybe 5 kilometers to the northeast here. This is such a crescent of sites, which most of them are founded already in Achaemenid times, although some are already also considered to be Sasanian foundations from surface findings. And this corroborates quite well with the picture brought by Altaville and Squitieri. So a factor of uncertainty in all of these reconstructions is we have to consider with unsettled areas versus marshland, as I call it. When I was told that in the far Shurpark survey to the southwest of the study region here, that only in the northern part is first millennium evidence, I was asking myself, all the other ancient levees of ancient river channels accumulated were still settled in first millennium, only here not. And why should it stop up here in Isin and don't go down further? So one probable solution could be that we have to do here with a marshland, which was, if you look at the historical evidence, quite common in this region. That is in Collingwood's map from 1862. You have here marshland spread all over. And later also by Andre, the picture doesn't change. Just the position slightly change of the marshlands. And even the modern picture you see when you search Nippur on the Google Earth, you see the Lake Dalmat, which is an outlet of a canal, artificial marshland, but it is nothing else than a marshland. And also here is a marshy area, might be seasonal. And so this is a constant topic here. And if you look at the archaeology in the Adab section, which my project partner Jafar Joteri made to the west of Adab, you find here two marshy deposits, one 4000 BC and one 1400 AD. And that's only to be considered the end of this marsh. So here is the position of this section, and here is the cross section. Here you see XY, and here XY. This is a levee of ancient levee, which accumulated and silted off and naturally eroded a bit. And here you see here marshy deposit and here marshy deposit. The textbook example from Uruk, which is something which I hope we could achieve also for this Nippur region, is here a sequence of boreholes with the gray zones, all marshy sediment in different ages, and sometimes even quite a fast sequence of seasonal marshes. But that is the Uruk region down here, and not up here where we are. And an indication for urbanization, if you want to search it, would be, for example, stamped bricks of Nebuchadnezzar. This is the same brick symbolically copied all over. It's from Nippur. And interesting is here that the Nippur bricks have the 6-line inscription. To the northeast in Kish, Tulul el Bakarat, they have only a 2-line inscription. And in Isin and in Tel Semech, they are mixed. So maybe one day we can also have here some further ideas about relative chronology of that bricks. Also, the current study by Georg Neumann about the Neo-Babylonian layers might bring some information, because it was already by Belga, it was tried to get a sequence where the different inscriptions of different lines were found, which should be at least checked again. So here are some conclusions to this question. So from heartland of cities to marshland without cities? Question mark, I put it. So unsettled zones could be potentially marsh environment for subsistence of settlements. A feature which is studied in the last 2 to 3 years, also with the drying out of the marshes, and we much better understand how it should look, how a marsh disappears. You can even, if you land in Wien-Schwechat, you can observe at the Neusiedler See, the drying out sometimes happens in the same way as such a marsh, such a regional marsh in southern Wallonia. The trend during the first millennium BC is trend towards a ruralization from several large urban centers in Neo-Assyrian period to more evenly spread smaller sites until the Achaemenid/Seleucid period. This is a package which we will also want to tackle in the future RuBab project with a better ceramic sequence to excavate Achaemenid site with hopefully several layers to also that we can separate these two periods also in this period, in this region of Iraq. To Nippur it stays urbanized, on top of main mountains are settled, and the ziggurat is rebuilt. So comparative beat ratio in Uruk, and part of the evidence you will find in the future publication of Maro 12 at Safran. We have broad-scale irrigation, latest from Neo-Babylonian period onwards. Last year in the Bregenz Borderlands conference, we also opted for a Neo-Assyrian start also in the Babylonian area. We have to consider also in Nippur, in Neo-Assyrian, so-called Neo-Assyrian layers in Nippur, we find Aeolian sand accumulations. According to Armstrong, the archaeologist who worked that out in his dissertation, in quite comparably stable circumstances, such accumulations, which happen normally when some irrigation went out of work and the wind can blow away the silt. So in the outlook for the later Parthian Sasanian period, a continuation of about 70% of the newly found smaller sites was observed by Gibson and Adams. And we have a kind of a re-urbanization with such mega sites like Sibilia, which are 550 hectare big, as well as Tel Jira, recently studied by the team of Marchetti in the Cadiz survey. And also Nippur is, as we saw, is prospering again. And including newly founded peripheral sites along the line of earlier channels, including also new irrigation systems as reported and well studied by Adams. Now I can afford a short outlook to my RuBab project, which tackles some of these questions I raised now. So the study area here for the first year, and there's with the key site Ishan Hafut, which I will come to that later. And for the second year of project, an extension of the study area is attempted. The basis is the work of the Bologna team during the Cadiz survey 2016-18. Still preliminary results, but hopefully in the next 2 or 3 years will come out also the final report. Here are the ongoing surveys, like the Munich team led by Adelaide Otto, the FARSUP team. Then there is also a plan for having an ESIN survey. This is the RuBab project for 2024 and 2025. And the Tulul El Bakra project, one of the earliest projects to re-enter Iraq, led by Carlo Lipiolis. We've also, this Neo-Babylonian bricks and also Neo-Babylonian school texts, very interesting, studied by Elena De Vecchi. So here the methodology, I will not bore you too much with that. It's a standard methodology for surveys. We will try only to add such a drone thermography. So Mark Altaville has a large-scale drone, which hopefully we were able to bring into Iraq, because nowadays, since 2023, the regulations changed and it goes via several ministries now. And so the DAI in Germany is, for example, not allowed to bring the same drone which they had in 2019, also from Germany, because they have an export ban for such drones, because Iraq-Iran is too near. So the excavation of Ishan Hafud, a site which was surveyed in the 1920s by Doherty and even partly excavated. Here you can see the corona photography with the main site Ishan Hafud and two separate sites which are to be searched again on the nowadays surface, hopefully not too heavily overbuilt, because Doherty got that by local Arabs when he was in the nearby city of Al-Budayr up here. And they said it comes from Ishan Hafud. So he went there, excavated, and found what he described as a tower with the bricks of Orninurta. It's nowadays we know it's a well brick, and so he excavated an inverted tower, so a well. And this collection was also brought to him by the same Arabs, also said to come from Ishan Hafud, with the notion that also a flat mound in the environs of Ishan Hafud is called Ishan Hafud by the Arabs. That means Ishan Hafud is Ishan is a hill which looks out of the water when the marshes are rising high or when high water is. So, and the working hypothesis for this project is that it could have been a seal cutter's workshop. As McGuinness showed 2003, that inscriptions without a sealing showed like worship of Nabu belonging to Selim Baal, not finished. And so what does it mean? It could be that it describes such a seal. There exist also two more inscriptions with worship of Baal and Nabu, and it could designate such sealings which are also found with the same cage. A big hope I have in the geomorphological survey by Jafar Joteri, who can work on a broad database of boreholes, and his auger can go up to 14 meters deep. And this is also the data set by Jafar Joteri in his Durham dissertation. And and he is working nowadays in the local university, in the Al-Qadisiyah University, and I hope that develops also a fruitful cooperation with a local partner, that not only we take something out, that we also can give some know-how to the students there. So the aims of the project are naturally to study the rural site Ishan Hafud, but also to study long-term processes. Why in some regions some waterways continued and why in some not. And maybe also to add up to the evidence of marshy deposits. And what we have to consider when we speak about such marshy deposits, several times in deep trenches in the Nippur region were found flat deposits of obeyed sherds. This is the rest what stays over when too much water went over a site. So in some cases we have luck to have preserved levels and floors, but in some cases only on the surface it survives sherds and probably buried in some place and in some places not. The refining of the relative sequence of canals with absolute dating, C14 and OSL dating, which is nowadays also more difficult as every sample has to stay at least 3 months at the customs, and so you have to go down extra for that again to get it out to Iraq. The refining of the sequence of material evidence is on the heart of me as an archaeologist, and to test large-scale drone thermography as a survey method to trace sites missed via other methods. Potential also for identifying sites known from extensive cuneiform evidence. And here is an assembly of the team. And recently I asked Constanza Copini, who makes the pottery for the Larsa team, and she will take care about the pottery. Originally I would have tried to do it by myself, but like this, a lot of mistakes I will not make with her know-how. So thank you for your attention.